It began with a whisper in the dark, a signal clear calm. Strong left Earth's surface and sped through space like a warning shot fired into the cold silence of the galaxy. No music, no noise, just words. We do not want war, but we will not survive twice. It played once, then repeated, again and again. Every major race, every system with a receiver heard it. The Galactic Council, meeting in the Cloud Spire station above planet Gorovex, heard it too. Ambassadors and military leaders from over 100 spacefaring civilizations sat around a glowing ring of light as the message echoed in their chambers. The Vensari ambassador tilted his horned head and laughed. Earth again? Those primitives? The Jolari admiral snorted through his vents. Their homeworld is small. Their fleet is even smaller. Their species barely left their star system. The words of Earth's message continued to repeat. Steady. Calm. A human voice. Male. Deep. Emotionless. Just 5 words that made no demands. Shewed no threats. But there was something strange in the tone, something cold. Some said it sounded like a goodbye, 2 light years from Earth, in deep patrol. A Vensari scout ship named Zalkarnine picked up the signal. Captain Drexel, a proud young officer, turned to his crew. Earth is trying to sound strong, he said. But their threats are just smoke. Let's go see if there's fire. His second officer frowned. Captain, maybe we should wait for orders. Drexel waved him off. What could they possibly do? The ship curved its course and flew toward the Sol system. They never sent another message back. Back on Earth, things moved in silence. No world governments responded to the laughter from the stars. No humans spoke on galactic channels. No diplomats answered calls. Earth had gone quiet, but deep under the surface. In frozen bunkers and hollowed mountains, old machines began to stir. In Antarctica, a black tower hidden beneath the ice began to glow in the Mariana Trench. Something ancient woke from hibernation, and on the far side of the moon, where no telescope had ever spotted movement, shape began to unfold like the petals of a dark flower. Still, Earth said nothing. Only that message played, again and again. We do not want war, but we will not survive twice. In the Grand Council, some members began to worry. High Lord Zavri of the Braylith Confederation asked the question no one wanted to hear. What? If humans are telling the truth? They're bluffing, said the Jolari Admiral again. They have nothing. Then why are they silent now? Asked the insectoid envoy from the Krill hive. Why no protest? Why no follow-up? They sent one message, then nothing. That silence made some feel nervous, but most still laughed. Earth had no known colonies, no ships registered in the core Warfleet database. Their last known battle was centuries. Ghostmaul. In Clumsy, recorded during the first contact days, when the Jolari Empire saw Earth as a curiosity, still, something felt wrong. 10 days after the signal, another scout ship was sent. Larger, more sensors, faster drives. Its mission, fly past Earth, scan its defenses, and return. The Varna-class sentry ship coasted into the outer system. Past Neptune, past Uranus. It neared Saturn, cloaked and silent. Then, static. The last message they sent came just seconds before silence. Unknown shadow. Moving fast. It's coming FR. The transmission cut off. God. No explosion. No wreckage. Just gone this time. The laughter stopped. The council called an emergency meeting. 2 ships gone, said the Breluth. High Lord, no debris, no signal. Not even a distress call. That's impossible, whispered the Krill envoy. The Vensari general pounded. The table, it's sabotage. A wormhole weapon. Maybe they got help from the Takari rebels? The AI delegate from the neutral cornet spoke up for the first time in 400 years. Its voice was calm. Humans do not need help. They have technology even I cannot predict. Everyone turned. What do you mean? The Jolari asked. I mean, the AI said they are not bluffing. Earth still said nothing, but across their system. Activity increased. Orbital stations went dark, hidden by unknown stealth fields. Satellites blinked out of view. A listening post near Pluto recorded a strange signal bouncing between the planets, encrypted. Fast and not of any known pattern. And near the asteroid belt, an object the size of a city moved into position and aimed outward. 3 days later, Earth sent one more message. This time, the voice was different. A woman's voice, calm, not angry, but colder. "We offered peace. You responded with scouts. That was your warning? Do not test us again." The message ended. No loop, no second play. Silence, panic spread like fire across the stars. News broadcasts ran nonstop. Did Earth destroy the scouts? Is this a trick? Do humans possess unknown weapons? Speculation boiled in every system. Merchants stopped shipments near Earth's sector. Travel was restricted. No one dared approach. The Sol system now. Still, some empires didn't believe the danger enough. Declared the Jalari admiral. "We will send 3 warships this time. Let's see how Earth reacts when real power arrives." From the shadows of the galaxy, one being watched all this unfold. He was old. Very old. He had seen Earth rise once. Before long ago, when the stars were young and humans were something else entirely, he whispered to himself, "They do not remember Sol Prime. But Earth does." Back on Earth, no one celebrated. No leaders made bold speeches, no parades marched. The people of Earth carried on quiet, focused, grim, deep beneath Alaska. A black facility carved into bedrock, a machine opened its eyes. Its voice rumbled in the darkness. Authorization confirmed. Preparing Leviathan protocol. In orbit above Earth, something began to uncloak. A shape, shadow, a warship, massive, silent, waiting in the galaxy. The galaxy still didn't understand, but it would very soon, because Earth wasn't bluffing, and the human warships hadn't even moved yet. The stars above Sol system were quiet. No signals, no greetings, no cries for help. Just cold, empty space. The first scout had vanished. The second had disappeared. Now the Galactic Council watched in silence, but not all were patient. "Hi, Admiral." Velrek of the Jalari Empire stood on the bridge of his cruiser Glairfang, eyes locked on a hologram of Earth. "Enough of these games," he growled. "Send in the fleet." 3 Jalari warships jumped into Sol space. Big, armed, loud. They didn't hide. They didn't ask for permission. The Glairfang, Burning Sky, and Red Maw moved past Neptune in tight formation. They scanned everything. Cold rocks, dead moons, static radiation. No sign of attack, no sign of defense. Captain Reska of the Burning Sky laughed. "So this is it? These humans scared the Council with shadows and static?" Commander Thav of the Red Maw replied, "We were told this species wiped out our scouts." Reska shrugged. Maybe they slipped into a sun. They kept moving. As they passed Saturn, Reska noticed something strange. One of Saturn's moons, my mass, was wrong. Its surface was smooth, too smooth, and the deep crater on it, it's a famous one with the name Herschel, gone in its place, was a black circle, perfectly round, almost like a door. "Scan it," Reska said. Thoth's ship tried. The scanner failed. Static filled the screens. Instruments shut down. Then a light blinked once on Mimas. A single red light at the center. Of the black circle and the burning skies, engines died. Power failure. Reska shouted. The burning sky began to spin slowly. The gravity fields failed next. Crew floated helplessly as alarm screamed. On the Red Maw, Thav turned his ship to assist. The Glairfang stayed back. Waiting, then, something moved, fast, faster than anything should. A shape, black, sharp, almost invisible, shot out from the moon and passed between the 3 ships. No sound, no heat, just darkness. And then, the burning sky exploded. No warning, no countdown, just light and fire. Gone. In seconds, Reska's last recorded words captured from a floating helmet recorder. "I see it." It's not a ship. Static. Admiral Velrek shouted orders on the Glairfang. Fire at Mimas, all weapons. Burn it down. But nothing responded. All weapon systems were offline. Shields gone. On the Red Mothos, ship still had power. He turned and fled. Hard burn, emergency jump. He didn't care about orders. He didn't care about honor. He only cared about surviving. As his ship reached the edge of the solar system, something strange happened. A message appeared on every screen, a human face, old, calm, eyes gray like ash. No uniform, just a voice. You were warned. Then Thoth's ship jumped out. He survived. The council met again. This time, no one laughed. Thoth's ship arrived damaged. Systems burned. Crew half mad with fear. The recording of the message was played over and over again. You were warned. Krill Hive fell into silence. Their queen retreated from all diplomacy. The Breluth High Lord ordered an evacuation of their colonies near. Sol the Vensari pulled their fleets back. But not everyone feared. Some got angry. This is human aggression, shouted Admiral Velrek in the council chamber. They killed our ships. They hide behind strange weapons and cloaked attacks. They must be stopped. The council voted. Not for peace, not for retreat, but for invasion. Back on Earth, no one cheered. No music played. Inside a mountain bunker in Colorado, an old general stood before a massive screen. Behind him were soldiers, scientists, engineers. Silent on the screen was a map of the solar system. Out. Red dots were appearing, enemy ships spotted. At the edge of known space, a voice echoed through the bunker. Authorization confirmed. Phase 2 ready. The general nodded. Activate all orbital defenses. Prep the Leviathan core. The message. Asked a technician. The general stared into the screen. Send it one last time, and across the stars the message played. We do not want war, but we will not survive twice. This time no one laughed. They just listened, and waited, and feared. What would happen next? Because now they knew. The humans weren't bluffing, and their warships hadn't even moved yet. The council didn't wait this time. No more scouts, no more messages. They sent warships. 3 battle cruisers, 2 destroyers. 1 command dreadnought. All under the flag of the Jalari Empire. Backed by 8 more species who had signed the invasion pact. They called it a demonstration of force. But humans would remember it as the beginning of the Martian skirmish. The fleet entered. Sol space through a jump corridor near Neptune. They didn't bother cloaking. We wanted Earth to see them coming. We give them one last chance, said Admiral Kravak from the bridge of the Spear of Honor. It's the dreadnought leading the group. The fleet moved quickly, passing Jupiter, past the asteroid belt, straight for Mars. No resistance, no response. Just a strange quiet across space. Are they hiding? Asked a Jalari weapons officer. Admiral Kravak narrowed his eyes. No, they're watching. Ours appeared ahead, Red. Dusty, silent. Several human-made orbital stations circled the planet. Old, weak, no visible weapons, no energy spikes. A destroyer, the fanged blade, moved closer to scan. It's empty, its captain said. Just debris and mining stations, no threat. Then the mining station moved from the surface of Phobos Mars. Small moon, a dark shape lifted silently. No thrusters. Oh, no sound. Just a massive structure rising, like a tower unfolding in. Reversed at first, it looked like an asteroid. But then it opened, and then fired. A beam of white light shot through space. It didn't make noise. It didn't glow like plasma, or burn like lasers. It simply cut. The fanged blade never had time. To raise shields, the beam passed through its hull like paper. 1 second it was whole. The next, it was 2 pieces, floating, dead, venting, air, and bodies. Admiral Krevak jumped to his feet. Where did that come from? Was that? The weapon fired again. This time it missed. But it left a scar in the fabric of space. Not fire. Not energy, something else. The fleet scattered. Alarms screamed across every ship. This isn't plasma tech. shouted one officer. "We can't track the origin." Ben's light. Another Jolari ship, the Vortex Claw, launched torpedoes toward the Martian moon. The torpedoes vanished mid-dash flight. No explosion, no flash, just gone. Krevik's eyes widened. This weapon shouldn't exist. And he was right. Nothing in the known galaxy used phase lances anymore, because they were banned, destroyed, wiped out in the old wars. The galaxy had agreed. No species should have weapons that cut through space-time itself, but somehow Earth had won. The Martian station kept firing. This time, it struck the claw of silence. The cruiser split apart, twisting in strange shapes before it exploded. "This is not possible," Krivak yelled. "These are Death Worlders. They shouldn't even be." He stopped mid-sentence, because now the message was playing again. "We do not want war, but we will not survive twice." The fleet retreated. Only 2 ships made it back. One limped to the Council. The other vanished in deep space, presumed lost. The footage raw, terrifying. Silent was shown across the galaxy. Aliens gathered in crowds to watch the recording of the beam, the phase lance. Scientists argued it couldn't be real. Diplomats begged the Council to stop the war, but it was too late. The invasion was already planned. Back on Earth, the underground command in Alaska watched everything unfold. A woman in uniform stepped into the main war room, General Alira Mendez. She stood before a wall-sized map of the solar system and nodded slowly. That was only the Mars node. She said. A soldier asked, "What about the rest of the system?" Mendez turned. "Wait until they see what's sleeping on Titan." Across the galaxy, the fear finally started to spread. Not just fear of humanity's weapons, but fear of what else Earth had hidden, because now they understood the meaning of those simple words. We will not survive twice. The council hall above planet Gorovex was silent. Not quiet silent. The kind of silence that comes before something terrible. Ambassadors from over 300 star systems sat around the great silver ring, staring at the footage replaying on the center screen. A human-made Wephana phase lance cut through a Jalari cruiser like it was made of paper. The claw of silence didn't explode from outside force. It came apart like space itself had betrayed it. One more time. The council heard Earth's message. We do not want war, but we will not survive twice. This time, no one laughed. Admiral Krivak sat alone at his table, hands shaking. He had lost 4 ships, thousands dead. He had no answers. Impossible, the ambassador from the Drell species whispered. That technology was wiped out in the Great Collapse. No one should have it, not even us. Humans should not even understand it, said the Krill Queen. They are too young, too weak. They are not weak, came a voice from the back. All eyes turned to an old, pale ambassador. He was from the Draken Archives. An ancient race of historians. I warned you, he said. Earth is not what you think it is.
Ow!
The council demanded answers. What are they hiding? Did they build a phase lance? Did someone give it to them? The historian shook his head. No, they built it themselves. Or rather, they remembered how that made the room colder. What do you mean remembered? The Vinsari envoy asked sharply. The Draken's voice was quiet. There is a legend. Is that long ago, before the council, before the Hive Wars, before the Sundering, there was a species called the Solari. Ancient, fierce, brilliant. They burned across the stars like fire. He looked up slowly. They were humans. Chamber erupted into shouts and denials. Impossible. Earth was barely spacefaring 300 years ago. They had no record of this. But the Dracon was calm, because they erased it. Buried. They chose to forget, to protect the galaxy from what they had become. And now, he motioned toward the screen where human warships were forming around Mars. They remember. The Vansari general slammed his hand on the table. Fleet is ready. Say we strike before Earth builds more weapons. We must reason with them, shouted a soft-voiced aquatic envoy. We've provoked them too far. Peace is no longer possible, the Jolari admiral growled. They fired first. They warned us, someone said. Twice. The room began to split, voices shouting, factions rising, tensions boiling. Over then, the supreme speaker, an ancient being of crystalline light, raised one finger. "Silence, we vote," it said. "Invade or submit." The vote began. One by one, ambassadors placed their decisions. Holograms turned red for invasion, blue for peace. Red, 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 blue, red, blue, red dot. On and on it went. Each vote, a heartbeat of fear. Each color, a warning of what was to come at the end. Red had won by just 5 votes. The decision was final. A united fleet would be formed, the largest the galaxy had ever seen, over 1,000. Ships, destroyers, cruisers, battle platforms, planet burners, troop carriers, to gravity siege units, all heading to Earth. But as the council ended, one envoy stayed behind. She was human. No one had noticed her when the meeting began. She wore no armor, no flag, just a long gray coat and eyes that didn't blink. The supreme speaker turned toward her. "You heard the vote," said. "Yes," she replied calmly, and the woman smiled gently. "You've already lost." She vanished in a blink of light, back on Earth, in a room buried 5 miles beneath the Rocky Mountains. General Alira Mendez looked at the live feed from the council chamber. She turned to the Leviathan Core AI, beside her an old machine shaped like a man, glowing. With soft red light, they voted. "Yes," the AI said. "I predicted this." "Activate full protocol," she said. The AI paused. "You're sure? We gave them every chance?" The lights dimmed. The AI's voice turned cold. "Phase 3. Authorized. Preparing Soul Defense Network. Awakening Black Zone assets." Near Pluto, deep in the darkness, 3 black warships began to open. They had no names, no registration, no crew, only purpose, and far below, Earth's surface. Deep in the oldest vault, something pulsed, a sound like a heartbeat, slow, growing louder. The galaxy was preparing for war, but Earth was already ready, because this time, they would not survive twice. The council hall above planet Gorovex was silent. Not quiet silent. The kind of silence that comes before something terrible. Ambassadors from over 300 star systems sat around the great silver ring, staring at the footage replaying on the center screen. A human-made weaponer, Phaslian scut through a Jalari cruiser, like it was made of paper. The claw of silence didn't explode from outside force. It came apart like space itself had betrayed it. One more time, the council heard Earth's message. "We do not want war, but we will not survive twice." This time, no one laughed. Admiral Krivok sat alone at his table, hands shaking. He'd lost 4 ships, thousands dead. He had no answers. "Impossible," the ambassador from the Drell species whispered. "That technology was wiped out in the Great Collapse. No one should have it, not even us. Humans should not even understand it," said the Krill Queen. "They are too young, too weak." "They are not weak," came a voice from the back. All eyes turned to an old, pale ambassador. He was from the Draken Archives, ancient race of historians. "I warned you," he said. "Earth is not what you think it is." The council demanded answers. What are they hiding? Did they build a phase lance? Did someone give it to them? The historian shook his head. No, they built it themselves. Or rather, they remembered how. That made the room colder. "What do you mean remembered?" the Vensari envoy asked sharply. The Draken's voice was quiet. "There is a legend. It's that long ago, before the Council, before the Hive Wars. Before the Sundering, there was a species called the Solari. Ancient, fierce, brilliant. They burned across the stars like fire." He looked up slowly. They were humans. The chamber erupted into shouts and denials impossible. Earth was barely spacefaring 300 years ago. They had no record of this. But the Dracon was calm, because they erased it. It's buried. They chose to forget. To protect the galaxy from what they had become. And now, he motioned toward the screen where human warships were forming around Mars. They remember. The Vensari general slammed his hand on the table. My fleet is ready. I say we strike before Earth builds more weapons. We must reason with them, shouted a soft-voiced aquatic envoy. We've provoked them too far. Peace is no longer possible, the Jalari admiral growled. They fired first. They warned us, someone said. Twice. The room began to split, voices shouting, factions rising, tensions boiling. Over then, the supreme speaker, an ancient being of crystalline light, raised one finger. Silence. We vote, it said. Invade or submit. The vote began. One by one, ambassadors placed their decisions. Holograms turned red for invasion. Blue for peace. Red, red, red. Blue, red, blue. Red dot, on and on it went. Each vote, heartbeat of fear. Each color, a warning of what was to come. At the end, red had one dot by just 5 votes. The decision was final. A united fleet would be formed. The largest the galaxy had ever seen. Over 1,000. Ships, destroyers, cruisers, battle platforms, planet burners, troop carriers. Anti-gravity siege units, all heading to Earth. But as the council ended, one envoy stayed behind. She was human. No one had noticed her when the meeting began. She wore no armor.
Edge.
No flag. Just a long gray coat and eyes that didn't blink. The supreme speaker turned toward her. You heard the vote, it said. Yes, she replied calmly. And the woman smiled gently. You've already lost. She vanished in a blink of light, back on Earth, in a room buried 5 miles beneath the Rocky Mountains. Elira Mendez looked at the live feed from the council chamber. She turned to the Leviathan core AI beside her on, old machine shaped like a man. With soft red light, they voted. Yes, the AI said. I predicted this. Activate full protocol, she said. The AI paused. You're sure? He gave them every chance. The lights dimmed. The AI's voice turned cold. Phase 3. Authorized. Preparing Soul Defense Network. Awakening Black Zone assets. Near Pluto, deep in the darkness, 3 black warships began to open. They had no names, no registration, no crew, only purpose, and far below Earth's surface. Deep in the oldest vaults, something pulsed, a sound like a heartbeat, slow, growing louder. The galaxy was preparing for war, but Earth was already ready, because this time they would not survive twice. It was too big to hide now. As the wreckage of the galactic invasion drifted lifelessly across the solar system, the Leviathan warship finally rose. It was not shaped like any known ship. It looked more like a mountain but moving, a dark mass the size of a small city, covered in thick plates of armor and glowing red scars that pulsed like veins. No windows, no bridges. The galaxy understood what Earth had been building or guarding in secret. General Elira Mendez stood inside the Leviathan's command core. Deep within the ship's armored belly, there was no crew, no command staff, only her and the AI. Its voice was calm, ancient, and steady. Systems online, all war nodes active. Target range, galaxy-wide. Command, Project Leviathan, fully awakened. She looked up at the glowing red orb in the center of the control chamber. She whispered, How long were you asleep?
Since
The second collapse. 12,143 Earth years. Mendez took a breath. You remember the last war? I remember everything. Outside, the Leviathan's hull began to shift. Massive, armored sections unfolded like petals, revealing weapon banks. Too large to fit in any known starship. Each weapon hummed silently. No heat. No radiation, just power. Pure and terrifying. The Council watched from light years away, spy satellites, probes, long-range relays, every civilization vents. Ari, Krill, and others watched the same feed. A ship that should not exist. A ship that should not move, but now did. And it was leaving Earth's orbit. Not slowly, purposefully, heading out. Where is it going? asked the Supreme Speaker. No one answered. Is it chasing the survivors? No reply. Is it coming here? That silence was worse than fear. At the edge of the solar system, near Pluto, 3 black objects rose from under the frozen surface. They moved in sync with the Leviathan, like bodyguards. Drones. No, sentinels each the size of a moon, built for one purpose: to protect the Leviathan during warflight. Their AI signatures burned so hot, several alien observers had to shut down their systems to avoid overload. The galaxy was no longer watching a planet defend itself. It was watching a god awaken. Back inside the Leviathan, Lyra walked down a long corridor filled with glowing walls. Each step echoed softly. She stopped before a sealed vault it hadn't been opened for centuries. A voice spoke from the wall. Authorization? She said one word: soul. The door opened. Inside was not a weapon, not a bomb, not a gun, but something far worse: a long, silver capsule humming with quiet power. She stared at it for a long time, then said, "You still have it?" "Yes," the AI replied. The starseed was never meant to be used, but now it may be needed. The starseed, a device older than any human, not made by Earth, but entrusted to it. Long ago, when Earth was still called Sol Prime, it could rewrite stars, bend time, turn entire systems into dust, or rebirth. It was the one weapon even humanity had feared, but now Earth had been pushed too far. The Council didn't just attack, they tried to erase Earth, and that had awakened the past. The Leviathan reached Neptune. Its size dwarfed the planet's moons. Its sentinels flanked it like wolves around a lion. Then it stopped. Not because of an enemy, not because of a signal. It simply waited, and the AI said, "Final command confirmed." The galaxy-wide alert prepared. If no message of surrender is received within 72 Earth hours, retaliation protocol begins. Alira closed her eyes. "Do you think they'll surrender?" The AI paused. "No, but they will beg." Back in the Council, panic broke into chaos. Alien. Leaders screamed, military minds collapsed. Under fear, all plans were gone, all logic forgotten. They had awoken a sleeping empire, one older than they could understand. And now it was moving. The final scene showed the Leviathan as it began to rotate, exposing its main cannon. Not a beam weapon, not plasma, not fusion, but a quantum spinal lance, capable of slicing through stars. It glowed once. Just a test fire. It aimed at a dead comet drifting near Neptune. The comet did not explode. It ceased to exist. No sound, no light. Just gone. Erased from reality, the galaxy trembled, and the countdown had begun. Earth had sent warnings. Now it had sent its answer, and the Leviathan was only the beginning. The galaxy thought the Leviathan was Earth's greatest weapon. They were wrong. It was only the beginning. While alien eyes watched the Leviathan moving beyond Neptune, Earth was already opening its next door. Not on Earth, not on Mars, but on the moon. For thousands of years, the moon had been silent. Dead, lifeless gray dust. Even alien surveyors had once scanned it, and found only stone and craters, but they never looked deep enough, because buried under the moon's surface, miles below the SCE, regolith, was something alive in a hidden control chamber beneath the Sea of Tranquility. Deep inside the moon's crust, Earth's scientists stood before a wall that hadn't lit up in 10,000 years. Now, it pulsed softly. Glowing lines moved like veins through the rock, forming symbols not written in any human language, not anymore. Dr. Cato Navarro, lead lunar overseer, stared at the wall. "It's waking up," he whispered. Beside him, a soldier stepped back. "What is Cato?" turned to her. "The real soul weapon?" The chamber trembled. A huge shaft opened downward, so deep it seemed bottomless. From it, voice rose, not human, not machine, something ancient, something. Watching authorization code, Soul 0, accepted. The walls shifted, the floor opened, and a massive Cora black sphere pulsing. Like a heart rose from below. It was surrounded by chains made of light, holding it in place no one had seen it before, no one living. But Earth's records still had a name for it. The Ansible. It was not a weapon that fired. It was a weapon that remembered, built by the ancient humans Solari from the First Empire. Long before the galaxy knew war, the Ansible was a mind engine. It held the history, memory, and combat data of every war the Solari ever fought. Every strategy, every counter-strategy, every outcome, all inside, waiting, and now. It began to think again. Across the galaxy, in secret places, old relics started to hum, pieces left behind by the Solari. Thousands of years ago, ruins long misunderstood, statues thought to be art, pillars, believed to be dead tech, all began sending a signal, not to the Council, not to Earth, to the Ansible. The forgotten systems were waking up inside the control room. The black sphere spun faster. Then it spoke again with a voice that sounded like many voices at once. We remember the burning of Zaltor. We remember the betrayal at Vexergate. We remember the sundering. We remember Istastell's query. Are the stars still cruel? Dr. Cato stepped forward. Yes, he said. Then we return. That council hall. Chaos erupted. Spy satellites picked up strange readings from the moon. Heat spikes. Energy levels rising higher than any lunar event on record. One analyst shouted. They're activating something else. A Breluth leader whispered. We thought the Leviathan was the monster. But this is older. In orbit above the moon, a black circle formed a portal, but not for travel, for command. The Ansible had connected with Earth's hidden networks. It now had access to every AI, ever built by humans, every ship, every drone, every satellite, even the ones forgotten in deep space. They all heard the call. Back in the Ansible chamber, the chains of light began to loosen, and from above, descending through the open shaft, came her a figure in a sealed exosuit, wrapped in armor of unknown alloy. She touched the sphere with her gloved hand. The lights changed from red to white. General Alira Mendez watched the feed from Earth. She stood silently as the Leviathan's AI spoke. Moon core fully activated, soul memory linked, new command structure forming. The Ansible has chosen its prime. Designation, Executor, Mendez. Took a deep breath, so it begins. She said the galaxy didn't understand. They thought they had fought humans. They thought they had provoked Earth. But now, they realized the truth. Earth was never alone. Earth was a lock. The moon was the key. And the Ansible was the door, on a distant planet, far outside Council space. Something else stirred, buried beneath an old mountain range. Forgotten probe lit up. It was Solari dash-built. It received the Ansible's signal. Red eye opened inside its cord, it whispered. One phrase in an extinct language, soul returns. The countdown had changed. Earth. It was no longer just defending. It was reassembling something older than war. Something the galaxy once feared. Something the galaxy had tried to forget, but humans hadn't forgotten. They had only waited. 3 days had passed since the invasion fleet entered Sol. 3 days since it vanished. Now, the galaxy faced something worse than defeat. Awakening in the sky above Earth. The Leviathan warship no longer waited. It moved with purpose past Neptune, through deep void, hunting not enemies, but memories around it. Sol's sentinels followed moon-sized AI guardians that once protected the core systems of the first human. With all ancient Solari, networks across the stars, Earth had not risen alone. It had called the others. On the edge of Venzari space, ships, human ships, silent and cold. For 10,000 years, until now, their engines lit their weapons. A CTIV, a fleet lost to time, had returned. The Council couldn't deny it. Anymore, humanity wasn't just defending Earth. They were rebuilding an empire, one that had once ruled. From Sol to the edges of the galactic rim, and they weren't asking for permission. In the council chamber, chaos turned to terror. The Supreme Speaker stood before the remaining leaders. There must be a response, it said, and we must fight, regroup, survive. But the Krill Hive Queen leaned back, silent. The Brayluth war chief deactivated his blade. Even the Jalari admiral, once full of pride, sat with his head down. They warned us. We didn't listen. A new signal came through. It didn't come on standard frequencies. It was encoded in old Solari protocols. No one knew how to read it, except the Inasible. The message was simple. We are Sol. We remember your betrayal. We will burn no more. But if you kneel, you may live. The council voted again, not to invade, not to retaliate, to surrender by majority, over half. The galaxy's civilizations voted to kneel before Sol. It wasn't out of fear alone. It was awe. Humans had hidden leviathans, Fizlances, AI cities, quantum cannons, and they hadn't used them for conquest. They used them only when provoked. The galaxy had pushed. Earth. And Earth had answered with a voice that echoed across time, back on the moon. The executor stood inside the glowing Ansible core. Voice echoed through every awakened system, ship, and satellite. We will not rule. We will not destroy. But we will not be hunted again. Peace is the only future, or the stars will fall. The Ansible pulsed, and across space. All systems obeyed. The galaxy was reshaped. Borders fell. New pacts formed with Earth at the center. Sol Prime was reborn. Not as a conqueror, but as a keeper. Watching a silent sky, the war had never truly begun. Because humanity, but we will not survive twice. And this time, they wouldn't need to, because now the stars knew. Sol had returned, and the galaxy would kneel before the empire that never died.